Welcome, everyone. I'm still getting used to the robotic voice telling me we're recording. So, really glad you're with us. My name is Kaleen O'Connor. I am joining you from the Gulf Coast of Florida here in the United States. It's getting really hot down here, but I love it. That's why I live in Florida. Anyway, really glad that you're with us. This is a live webinar. We have some phenomenal speakers tonight. If you've been here before, you're going to learn stuff and hear it even better. And if this is your first time, same thing. What can I say? So we're diving into the world of cellular health. This is a massive breakthrough. And I want you to know that the person that thought enough of you to invite you tonight has given you a true gift. And I'm sure you'll hear that from our other speakers in multiple ways, but truly, thank you for your attention and your time today. And at the end of this webinar, you will definitely look at life and how the body heals itself and how we age and longevity and all those things from a very different perspective, and also have some exciting resources that you can take advantage of in that whole world. So with this massive breakthrough, there's several reasons why people tend to want to get curious about it. So I'm going to review that for a moment. For example, you might yourself have a health challenge, or you might have a loved one that you're caring for that has a health challenge. Or, just in the whole world of, we're all aging, and some people, we want to live longer, feel better, look better, our skin, all those things as we age. You might also just be a very active person. You might, with your work, do a lot of physical labor, or love to work out, or you're athletic, and this breakthrough can be a phenomenal resource for endurance and recovery, and also just from a prevention standpoint, because why wait until there's a problem if you can stay on top of things and really harness the body's ability to heal and repair, and continue to do that as we did when we were younger. I mean, that's just a game changer for all of us, I can say from my own experience of using these resources. And then, because it's a breakthrough and it is so unique, and it is 15 to 20 years ahead of its time, it requires some education. And so because of that, there's just a unique income opportunity as well, if you like helping people and sharing innovative things with other people. So with that said, the way this is going to go in the next hour is, as I mentioned, we have a few guest speakers. We're going to invite you at various times to ask questions. Because we are in webinar mode, you can put them in the chat box, and we will definitely get to them throughout the webinar. And we're going to have some, a phenomenal live testimony as well. So our first guest speaker is Mr. Stevie Aquilina. He's joining us from Australia, and he is a phenomenal educator on this health breakthrough. So you couldn't be with someone better. And he really lives what he preaches and teaches. And so he's as I like to say, a salt of the earth person. So Stevie, let's have you pop in and start sharing all the wonderful news about this stuff.
Hey, thanks very much, Kaleen. Really a introduction too kind for me. But yeah, I really appreciate you and, your tremendous efforts in being such a tremendous lady and leader, not just to your team and your friends, but anybody outside of that as well. I know you welcome them in because you're very sincere about this mission of ASEA, which is, for folks that don't know, our mission here at ASEA is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. And Kaleen's heart beats in rhythm with that mission. So I really appreciate you, Kaleen. Thanks so much for looking after us all here so well. All right, folks, let me share my screen here really quick. I really thank you for being here. I do appreciate your time. So let me jump straight into this. I'll share my screen, and we'll get into what this is all about. All right, so as Kaleen said, let me get my screen moving here. My name is Stevie Aquilina, and in case you couldn't tell by the very nice introduction, and also my Crocodile Dundee accent on top of that, my family and I live in Australia. We are originally from Sydney, but now we live on the Gold Coast, and that was honestly a dream come true, and we can make that happen just 12 months ago now. It's 12 months now. I'm very, very grateful for the fun lifestyle that we have up here, and the good times, and also now the income and the time and the freedom that has really allowed me to enjoy this really good lifestyle up here with my family. It's also taken us to many parts in the world that were once upon a time way too far out of our reach. over these last 6.5+ years with this company, ASEA. But I've got to tell you the truth, the good vibes and good times have not always been the case. I was a very difficult, weird, awkward, and strange child to parent and raise and school. I never made the grades, and out of all of the unfortunate things that happened to me in my upbringing, probably the most for me was being told on a daily basis that I was stupid and useless. And, you know, when you're told something often enough, especially while you're young and impressionable enough, you kind of start to believe it. And so I later became a teenage runaway and a high school dropout. And to be honest, with that kind of thinking, I was in the wrong places. I was with the wrong people. I had the wrong behaviors and developed wrong habits. And to be honest with you, I was just walked myself way off track on life's journey, right throughout my teens and even right throughout my 20s as well. Now, when I did try to fly right, I had more than 20 different jobs in far less that time. I found it very difficult. For over a decade, I was a very dumb, but hey, very good looking bouncer in what used to be the most popular and notorious nightclubs in Sydney, you know, for some fun reasons, but also for all the wrong reasons as well. Now, I had big dreams. I wanted to be, do, and have more. I really wanted to give more, actually. I wanted to be doing something more significant, but I had little self-esteem. And so I had done little with my life and had little to give. Now, physically, I have always been athletic, mainly in very ancient martial arts. You wouldn't have known it, but back then I had health troubles, autoimmune, inflammatory, severe skin, respiratory, and gut diseases most of my life. Lots of bad injuries too from very hardcore martial arts. As for money, financially, I got myself stuck. I was in go nowhere jobs with hopes going nowhere, no prospects, financial security, or dignity. I mean, I was embarrassingly broke. I've been behind and had the phone, electricity, and gas cut off. I've not been able to run my car because I couldn't afford the petrol. I've not been able to make the rent. I've been evicted, like no financial dignity. I always believed in possibilities, but my problem was I doubted my potential. And so with that kind of contradiction, it led to confusion and unfulfillment and unhappiness and frustration and just being trapped in unable to be who I want to be. Now, before ASEA, a huge turning point for me was meeting this lady who was literally the girl of my dreams. And when I saw her for the first time, I was motivated more than ever before to become more. I knew if I wanted this good woman, I had to become a better man. Now, she believed in me long before I could and always told me that I was more. So for that, I'm forever grateful, because when you're told something often enough, right? But another massive turning point in my life was being introduced to this company's life-changing breakthrough, life-changing financial opportunity, and life-changing training. The company leaders right throughout this company, from the top into the field, are extremely successful people. Now, they believed in me too, but more importantly, they've taught me more than ever before how to believe and become more. So now today, instead of having health, wealth, and money problems, I've solved them, and I have the opportunity to help others to solve it too, because of this life-changing breakthrough and this life-changing financial opportunity. And instead of all of this financial insecurity and indignity and being embarrassingly broke, instead of being trapped, unfulfilled, unhappy, and frustrated, I now have more, with the ability to believe and become more and give more, because this company's training has shown me a life-changing, better way. And so now I want to do nothing less with my life than spending the rest of it doing my best to better people's lives in at least any one of these life-changing ways too. What I'm going to share with you first is the most significant health and life science breakthrough of our lifetime. Now, this is medical experts who are saying this. They say it is a great breakthrough that is even greater than the discoveries of DNA or penicillin. For 2 decades, science had declared this was impossible. This is a breakthrough with enormous potential, proven by renowned universities and world-leading laboratory medical studies, not made-up studies. This is considered to be 15 years ahead of its time. Any health goals or challenges you can think of, remarkable results, but drug companies wanted it all shut down. More about that a little later. Before I tell you what this is, let's be clear about what this is not, because this is nothing like anything else you've ever seen before. What we'll be talking about goes well beyond drugs or nutrition, well beyond any type of ingredients or technology that you might already know about. Because listen, what I'm about to tell you about, what I'm about to show you is an entirely new frontier in science. And it is truly groundbreaking. I mean, it is even category creating and a real deal healthcare breakthrough. The ASEA Redox cell signaling move screen. Don't give me troubles again. Everything's been reset. Sorry, folks, I'm just jammed here. The ASEA Redox cell signaling technology is a drink that contains active redox signaling molecules. Here we go. I was winging it. So what are those? What are redox molecules? Redox signaling molecules are made by your cells. So they are native to your body. They're from your body. Your body runs off them. They are your cellular messengers that affect your cell-to-cell communication and your genetic expressions in a positive way. Now, when I say your body runs off them, let me give you a couple of examples. Redox signaling is a remarkable process because it is the actual process that empowers your body to heal itself. And this happens by redox molecules telling your cells how to protect healthy cells, repair unhealthy cells, and or replace damaged cells. Now, furthermore, redox signaling molecules also activate your body's immune system to protect against bacteria, viruses, and infection. Your body runs off them. Again, redox signaling is what keeps cells functioning and healing the way they should at optimal levels. Why is this so important? Because we're all made of cells. We live and die at the cellular level. So healthy cells means a healthy body and therefore a healthy life. Now, redox signaling molecules are the keys to life. They are essential for the activation and function of our normal physiology. All of our body's major systems, biochemical and physiological processes critically depend on redox signaling, because if all of your cells were to suddenly stop making redox signaling molecules right now, you wouldn't live longer than just a few more mere seconds. Without redox signaling molecules, life ends. So if our bodies already make redox signaling molecules, why do we need to give our bodies more with this ASEA product? Well, when we're born, we make an abundance of redox signaling molecules. That is generally why children have so much energy, how they can run around all day and not wake up sore the next day. You notice that? And how they can bounce back so quickly from an injury or illness. However, as we age, and along with stress, poor diet, toxins, and lots of other environmental assaults, our cells break down. And with it, our body's ability to make redox molecules also breaks down. And without as many of these redox signaling molecules giving clear cell signals, our whole cellular protection and healing process becomes slow and sluggish. Our cells break down more and more. And so does our health, wellness, youth, and vitality, since that's all we're made up of, right? Now, ASEA takes science seriously and is highly committed to ongoing research with very renowned universities and world-leading laboratories. And ASEA allows these outside and independently reviewed studies to prove the potential of our redox signaling supplements, demonstrating the safety and efficacy, certifying them as safe and effective in everybody. Now, ASEA redox is within a very real and significant space of science because redox biochemistry is based in Nobel Prize winning research. Since the first Nobel Prize was awarded to these three professors back in 1998 for the very first discovery of a signaling molecule, there have now since been multiple signaling molecules discovered, with multiple Nobel Prizes being awarded for research in that field. And if you went along to pubmed.gov, which is where all peer-reviewed medical studies are published in the National Library of Medicine, if you typed in redox signaling in the search bar there, you would see well over 33,000 results. There are more than 1,500 medical textbooks that have been published on redox signaling. This slide is out of date for sure, because there are around 150 studies coming out almost every single month. According to medical researchers, as well as reported in mainstream media, like the Huffington Post, who specifically wrote about ASEA in this article that I'm showing you, redox signaling is one of the fastest emerging fields in science that will shape all of our lives in the coming years. There are now multiple universities who've received tens of millions of dollars in grants to open up redox research centers. There are now global medical conferences being held about redox. Medical doctors are specializing in redox, with one such professor, a doctor at Harvard Medical School, who has a PhD and title that includes Director of Redox Medicine. Now, as for ASEA around all of this, we're already light years ahead of anything else out there. ASEA redox users enjoy cell signaling benefits, which translates to health at its most foundational level. Here's just one example. ASEA redox has been scientifically tested and shown to signal the activation of genetic pathways. In other words, affect your genes that improve immune system health, help maintain a healthy inflammatory response, help maintain cardiovascular health and support arterial elasticity, improve gut health and digestive enzyme production, and modulate hormone balance to support vitality and wellness. Now, these genes are key in the health of every individual and play a vital role, not just in the 5 mentioned human health areas, but also in dozens of additional genetic pathways. Moreover, ASEA redox has been scientifically tested and shown to enhance your body's own production and efficiency of antioxidants by up to 800%. Further studies show that ASEA lowers oxidative stress. Now, the head professor of that university study has said that one of the most important effects of ASEA on disease risk factors is its ability to reduce oxidative stress. Now, listen, that's significant because all degenerative health concerns are caused by oxidative stress. Now, from rigorous toxicology studies, ASEA is proven to be 100% safe, 0% toxicity. Why? Because redox signaling molecules are native to your body. Your body runs off them. They're already in your body. Your body already makes them. It's just that now your body can't make as much of them as it used to be able to when it was younger and healthier. So if you have health challenges, if you have people that you care about who do, if you have a wish that you could look, live, and feel young once again, if you have the very good sense for protecting your health because you don't want to become old and unwell, right? Or if you have a goal of having higher levels of human performance, whether athletically or just in your everyday life. Any health goal you can think of, redox users and medical doctors are seeing just remarkable results. Now, the good news is you don't need to take my word for it if you don't want to, because I'm going to share with you some medical doctors right now so you can listen to what they have to say. So here they are.
Redox signaling molecules are like the DNA whisperer. They signal cells to be healthy. And because of age, because of medications, because of toxicity in the environment, you lose your ability to make the redox signaling molecules. So having them with ASEA simply replenishes what your body is doing natively when you were young. You know, I've been in the business for 40 years, and this is the first time that I've ever heard about the redox signaling molecules, which to me is a breakthrough of the 21st century, akin to the electric light bulb in the 20th century and maybe even the discovery of penicillin. Because your body is a redox signaling program, and to be able to replenish it on a day-to-day basis, internally and externally, is not just a breakthrough, it's a game changer.
Health is something we have to earn. What can I do to get to the root of things and really prevent problems from happening? Is it possible? And the answer is yes.
You know, I think most people don't actually really consider their health until it's gone. So it's the choices that we make today that are going to determine the level of our wellness and our health and our healthy longevity tomorrow.
We want to keep people healthy. We don't want to see that deterioration. The whole process of the anti-aging and regenerative medicine that I'm so passionate about is on the premise that we can maintain energy, we can maintain health.
So prevention is key, but people need to value it, and people need to understand what it is and take responsibility.
Inside every cell in your body, you're constantly producing negative and positive molecules called oxidants and reductants, and the contraction of that name is redox.
So with these molecules, we're amping up that communication. We're helping that cell signal.
Without these cell signaling molecules, we simply wouldn't do the gene replication that we need, the DNA sequencing that we need. These redox signaling molecules interact throughout the body with every cell that we know.
Every cell in our body needs these molecules for communication purposes. The more balanced they are, the more abundant they are, the healthier we are.
ASEA actually has the combination of the oxidants and the reductants that the body makes. So all we're doing with ASEA is enhancing what the body is already doing.
Having a product, a technology that's native to the body doesn't have to worry about detoxifying it because it knows exactly what to do with redox molecules. It's one of, if not the safest recommendation I ever make to a patient.
They found a way to stabilize them outside the body. And you can actually put them back into bodies that are deficient in those molecules. That's a game changer.
To have something that at its molecular level is native to the body is nothing short of a breakthrough.
This is something that's foundational for health, for every cell. It affects every cell in our body. And not just the cells, but the very DNA within those cells. You know, we talk about the discovery of DNA as being a huge breakthrough, the discovery of penicillin. Yes, these were absolutely huge discoveries, but now we have something that actually goes even deeper.
This is where the future lies, and this is why redox chemistry and supplements that employ this are so powerful.
They literally turn on and turn off, signal every single process in every living cell. And to be able to stabilize a product that allows us to replenish that is just a phenomenal breakthrough.
This has the capability to change the landscape of the healthcare system as we know it.
So now that we've spoken about cellular health from the inside out, let's show you what's possible from the outside in. And that's made possible by ASEA's topical versions of Redox technology, which are Renew 28, Redox Gel, and our intensive Redox Serum. Now, these Redox technologies are further supported and enhanced by the complementary all-natural ingredients products, our gentle refining cleanser, and our ultra replenishing moisturizer. Hey, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's just show you what our ASEA Redox technologies are worth with these pictures showing amazing health, anti-aging, and age-reversing results. Now, you'll be able to see lines and wrinkles smoothed out, elasticity come back to the skin, skin blemishes, spots, dots, marks, inflammations, irritations, aggravations, other signs of poor health to the skin being renewed. For young people too, being rejuvenated, improving the quality of life, and even the aftermath of some of these unfortunate conditions are coming back to the proper surface of the skin. This is Rosie here, and the dramatic difference you're seeing in the first two pictures on the left couldn't be seen by Rosie because she didn't take those pictures. In fact, Rosie believed the products weren't even working. Rosie went to see her doctor. That's who told her about ASEA and who took these pictures. And when Rosie told the doctor that the products didn't work, the doctor showed these pictures to Rosie, and the rest of the story can be seen here. Everyone says they want to see how ASEA goes. Fair enough. But Rosie missed the moment-by-moment changes because she didn't take pictures to see them. So please take pictures, or you may miss the results too. Take pictures. That's how you see how the ASEA Redox products go. For anything you can't take a picture of, keep a written record instead. Now, some people notice results within 7 weeks, like Rosie, others within 7 days. Many people can have an experience in around about 7 minutes, but some people need to apply more product, more time, more patience, generally when there's more going on with their health. Now, what we know scientifically is that redox molecules are redox molecules. They're all the same in you, me, animals, and plants. They're all precisely the same, and precisely the same in ASEA Redox products as well. And so studies show that ASEA Redox products have an immediate positive effect. They work in every single person, every single time. It would be scientifically impossible for them to not work in you or hurt you. But what does differ from person to person is the time it takes them to notice the change. Speaking of noticing the change, this doctor did a little experiment of his own on his very own face and used Renew 28 on only half of his face and not the other. Can you spot the difference? Now, Renew 28 is not just for your face. As you can see here, you can use it on your arms, hands, bellies, put it on your bum. These pictures are actually of buttocks and thighs from a world-leading laboratory who did a study because there were many reports coming in from all over the world from people saying, hey, my cellulite had disappeared while I was using this Renew 28 stuff. And so scientists set upon very strict studies to see if there was any truth to these stories. What they found was after just 12 weeks, there was a 16% or more reduction in the appearance of that cellulite. When the scientists did ultrasounds, because they wanted to try and discover how this is happening, they saw that the subcutaneous fat that was causing the cellulite was actually being dissolved from the use of Renew 28. So Renew 28 helps reduce the appearance of wrinkles. It also helps soothe skin discomfort after things such as shaving or sun exposure and the like. But Renew 28 is not just for the skin. It goes far deeper than that. And it helps soothe discomfort around the body. And you can know about that in about 10 minutes. If you have some discomfort around your body, rate that discomfort on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, the most discomfort, soreness, hurting that you could experience. Apply Renew 28 on that sore spot 3 times with a timer inside of 5 minutes. So put it on 3 times inside of 5 minutes time. Usually 9 to 10 out of every 10 people who try this will notice a soothing or reduction of that discomfort within approximately 10 minutes. Now, nothing I've said here today has been intended to diagnose anything that you're going through. And ASEA does not claim to treat or cure any diseases. Look, before I carry on any further, what I'd like to do is hand it back to Kaleen very quickly, so you can hear from my best mate, an Aussie living in Hawaii, who has a very significant redox experience that you just need to hear.
Thank you, Stevie. That was awesome. And as Stevie's already, teased us, I'd like to officially introduce Dan Doyle, who, again, with the help of a mutual friend, Maurizio Munoz, shared this incredible resource with me 4 years ago, and it has forever changed my life and my family's life. And I just think, it's incredible, as Stevie shared a bit of his story, to hear from Dan, both on the personal side, as well as, how the income opportunity has changed his life. And as you'll soon learn, he literally, when we could, more easily travels the globe helping people. So, and I, need to say that, he's a true leader from the sense of not just helping people with this breakthrough, but also partnering with our corporate office to advise them on, all the insights he gathers from working with people around the world. So Danny, thank you for freeing up your schedule to join us tonight, or in the morning if you're.
Yeah, no, it's 2:30 here in Hawaii, and yeah, thank you, Kaleen. Thank you, Stevie. Thanks for everybody for being on our usual Monday/Tuesday call, wherever you are in the world. Just want to reiterate what Stevie said before I go into my story, that these products are not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. We just tell our stories and hopefully be able to give you the ability to find out, to be educated what we have, what this is all about, without any hard sell or convincing you of anything. And as far as I'm concerned, we talk about this incredible gift that we have received, that you are receiving, and whatever you want to do with that gift is up to you. I love the fact that you're on this call. Something that drives me absolutely nuts is people that make uninformed decisions about things. You're here being informed, and you're going to, it's going to help you and allow you to make a decision on whether you want to do something with this or not. So my story goes back to Sydney, Australia. As many of you know that have heard my story, played many sports in my teens and into my 20s, and this was one of them, bodybuilding. The start of me being a young entrepreneur in the health and fitness industry. And over 2 decades, I was, predominantly built and sold traditional businesses, and that was in all different industries. So health and fitness industry, as you can see, I had my own gym, going into the security industry, construction industry, hospitality industry, employed about 3,500 people over 2 decades, and built 20 traditional businesses. So let's fast forward and move through this. So if you go from 24 to the age 44, you can see I'm still fit and healthy, not a bodybuilder anymore, but I want to be the best version of a 50-year-old that I could be. And fortunately, I was in this condition because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have found something that wasn't quite right with my body. And fast forward into 2011, so 6 months after that last photo, this is a picture of me going through 2.5 years of what I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. 2.5 years in and out of a hospital in Sydney, Australia. Lost all the hair from the top of my head to my toes. A friend of mine standing next to me, Johnny Manor, he'd been through all the hospital visits that I had started. He went into remission, went back to playing the highest levels of rugby in Australia at the age of 21. Unfortunately for Johnny, after this photo was taken, his issue came back, went back into hospital, started going through these horrendous things that we were going through, and he never came out. We lost him at the age of 23. At the end of my hospital visits, I was told to get my affairs in order. I made a decision at that point to take the responsibility of my health back into my own hands, did some research. I went on to an alkaline diet because I heard or researched that what I had couldn't survive or live or thrive in an alkaline state. So I cleaned up my diet, spent a lot of money on nutritional supplements, super juices, antioxidants, alkaline water. Now you would think my body would have been heading in the right direction, but I can tell you that that was not the case. This is a photo of me 2 years of looking after myself. My blood works were still heading in the wrong direction. A friend of mine calls, says, I think I found something that can help. This is now 2014. I flew from Sydney, Australia to Salt Lake City, Utah, started on these amazing little molecules. Long story short, 3 hours my body was expelling things from it so fast, had little red spots all over my upper torso. In 12 hours, a 20-year caffeine intolerance had gone away. And in 2 to 3 days, because I had so much lung damage from what they did to me in that hospital where I had trouble breathing and talking at the same time, my lungs were functioning perfect after 12 hours. After 2 days. Went back home to Australia, kept drinking these molecules. Long story short again, 1 year later, end of 2015, this is the day the doctors told me no sign of those 2 major health challenges. But not only that, multiple injuries from playing sports had gone away, 20 years of sinus problems, sneezing, runny nose. My whole body was rebuilt top to bottom in 2015. That was my journey back to health. Now let's fast forward another 2 years and have a look at the anti-aging. So 2014, as you can see, not looking well at all. This is when I didn't have my health. 1 week later, starting on the product. 1 year on the product. This is the whole of 2015, basically, drinking the product. You can see I looked way better. So what you can see on the outside here is a reflection of what was happening on the inside as to when I wasn't well. And then 2017, 3 years on the product, my complexion, a reflection of what was happening on the inside there as well. That was a little bit about my journey back to health and looking younger and feeling younger. Amazing ride. Things evolved and changed as time went on. You know, this was all about me initially and all about my health and getting my health back. But it became a responsibility to start sharing this with other people. And I did that. And thank goodness for the business model behind ASEA. It gave me the ability to share this with others, but to receive thank you checks. And those thank you checks I invested back into my health and bought more product, saturated my body with these amazing little molecules, and signaled and empowered my body to heal itself, which was absolutely phenomenal. So it became a business, something that I needed, I was looking for anyway, but this incredible purpose-filled mission with this platform that we have, a platform, a business model, an opportunity that can help anybody to take themselves or their loved ones back potentially to their health, and also to take people to wherever they want to go financially. I believe this is the most compelling opportunity we'll come across. With that, I'm going to hand back to Kaleen. You're going to hear a little bit more about what we have in the palm of our hands.
Fantastic. Thank you, Danny. So just to reorient everybody too with where we're at in our webinar, if you joined us particularly because you really wanted to learn about the products, you know, that was the first part of our webinar. And what we're going to do now is invite you to put any questions you have in the chat before we go into our next segment with Stevie. Because now we're going to actually share with people the income producing activity and how the business works. And so if you just came for the product, stick around to get your questions answered. You're welcome to also stay and learn about the business opportunity, but you can certainly order your product without building a business as well. And there's a phenomenal customer account. You can ask the person that invited you to be here that's called the preferred customer account. That gives you great discount pricing. We'll go into a bit more detail on the accounts after this part of Stevie's presentation. And I will just say, just as a quick personal story on the business side, I recently had to take an emergency trip to Brazil because I have family there. And because of this collaborative business that exists, and I work with all of my team, like my team members here on the webinar tonight, I was able to walk away from my business for almost 2 months and help make sure that these webinars continued for you all, so you could continue learning about ASEA, and was able to keep earning income just because of the way that we're paid. So I just wanted to share what a life-changing moment that was for me to be able to have peace of mind while in Brazil and know that that my business was still rolling. So with that, I want to bring Stevie back in, because this really is, if you've never looked at how you could actually, you know, build a business from home with a phenomenal product with a well-established company, I encourage you to stay with us for this last part of the segment. And also I'll come back on and wrap things up as well, because it's quite a compelling story and it's a very unique, fantastic company. So Stevie, thanks for bringing us to the next phase of the webinar.
No, absolutely, and thank you very much, Kaleen, and thank you, Dan. I really appreciate it both greatly. But yeah, Dan is not only an extremely successful leader, but my best mate, and you know, he's the one that took me in first into this company and believed in me and taught me how to, you know, become more. So I'll be forever grateful to him for the position he's put me and my family into now. So forever grateful to you, mate. All right, folks, with every great breakthrough comes great opportunity. That is a historical a fact and a universal truth. And a seer is a life-changing breakthrough. It's really a breakthrough. It's a game-changing breakthrough. It's a breakthrough for humanity. And so that's created a life-changing financial opportunity behind all of it. And that is to make a living while bettering people's lives. Now, a seer's Redox technologies are the world's first and only redox signaling supplements for two simple reasons. One, for nearly 3 decades now, no one other than the medical scientists who've worked with ASEA, no one but they have been able to figure out how to create and stabilize redox signaling molecules outside of the body. You know what? For the 2 decades before ASEA's breakthrough science had declared that this was impossible. And by the way, we have nothing but redox signaling molecules in our redox products. That is proven by Bioagilitics, who is a scientific organization who assesses most of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world to certify that what is in products is what is being claimed is in those products by those companies. Bioagilitics does that same assessment to batches of ASEA to certify that we do have redox signaling molecules in our products. Now, ASEA, number 2, is also heavily patented. So that means ASEA is not allowed to be copied. But you know what? ASEA really can't be copied anyway, because there's no way to look into a bottle of ASEA and figure out how to reverse engineer it, because there are no secrets in the bottle of ASEA, because the secrets are trade secrets in the making of ASEA. And so it really can't be copied anyway. That means we have no copycats. That means we have no competition. That means no one in the world has what ASEA has. No one. That means no other products in the world can do what ASEA does. None of them. No other product in the world can make the claims ASEA is able to make. No juice, pills, super shake, fancy water, CBD oil, whatever it might be, however good it might be, is not redox signaling molecules. Nothing else in the world can get to the depth and level of achievement in the human body as what redox can, because redox works in everybody, because everybody needs redox, because nothing in the body works as well or at all, in fact, without redox. That includes all of those other fancy products out there. And redox can't hurt anybody. So ASEA holds massive opportunities over and above all else and across all health science sectors. This is one breakthrough, totally game-changing, $3 trillion health and wellness industries: healthcare, wellness, sports science, athletic performance, beauty, skincare, aging, and longevity. ASEA is an entrepreneur's dream. Now, our mission here at ASEA is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. We can't do that on our own. And so what we do is we look for people to help spread the word. What we do is not complicated. First and foremost, we personally share ASEA with others. Along the way, we find and attract to us people who also want to grow and expand a network of others doing the same. So we're able to further expand our reach far and wide and deep around the world. Now, this puts you in business for yourself. You can be your own boss, but you will never be in business by yourself, because together we're better. And we work to improve the productivity of the network we've built locally, regionally, nationally, internationally. And you can do that with us too. We have the systems to plug you into to be able to do that. Now, ASEA gives you the opportunity to earn money just by sharing Redox with others. So for people looking for maybe an extra income, part-time income, full-time, or even big-time income, maybe a legacy leaving income for loved ones. For people who want a better life, income, lifestyle, let me tell you, there are levels of commissions, as you can see on your screen, to meet whatever levels of ambitions, to be able to afford making your goals, dreams, and desires a reality. ASEA helps you create income that is both residual and leveraged. Here's what I mean by that. You receive a residual income from the first and all of the ongoing repeated purchases made by every single person you refer to ASEA. Now, on top, you also received leveraged residual income from all of the ongoing repeated purchases made by every single person your contacts and others also refer to no end. There's no limits to how far and wide and deep these referrals can go. Because you can refer as many people as you like, and because those people can refer as many people as they like, and because all of the purchases count under you in your business, that means that the residual income potential to you and the leveraged residual income potential to you is absolutely unlimited. Now, we do this type of marketing all the time. We recommend good movies, TV series, restaurants, cafes, books, etc., etc., etc. And 99.99999% of the time, you don't get paid anything for it. People tell people who then tell even more people. It goes on, and it's natural. It's word of mouth marketing, and it is still today the oldest and most effective and number one and trusted and listened to form of marketing in the world. Nothing has ever beat it before, and I doubt anything ever will. There's no limits to it, especially with how connected the world is today. Word spreads worldwide. ASEA is currently in 35 countries. They've opened up new markets every single year. Based on existing trends, our annual turnover is projected to exceed more than $500 million by the year 2025. From year one, we had zero debt and we were profitable. And every single year, we've remained in zero debt, but increased in profitability. And so you're in the right place at the right time. Now, residual income, being able to be paid again and again and again from the work you do once, being able to be paid on your days off, on your holidays, still getting paid while you sleep. That's very impressive. But more so, residual income is important. Think about it like this. You have residual bills. So why not have a residual income? Do you know what happens to most people by the time they're 65? Well, out of every 100 people, only 1 in 100 is wealthy. Only 3 in 100 are financially secure. Now, 7 out of 100 must still work to survive at 65, and they're not working because they want to. That's different. These people are working because they have to. They're a slave to the dollar. But here's where it gets really concerning. 74 out of every 100 people are dependent on welfare by 65. So yeah, there's a health epidemic going on out there. But there's a financial failing plan epidemic going on out there too, clearly. 81% of people get trapped in this. 4% seem to figure it out. So what's the difference? How do you make money that is no longer dependent on your paid by the hour, selling your precious time that you can never get back for money, labor-intensive or own activity job, otherwise known as active income? Look, sooner or later, you're not going to be as active as you are right now. So you're not going to have as much active income as you have right now. This is very concerning for me when I first learned this, because I was like, well, my active income already is enough as it is. Again, this is a big problem. 81% of people get trapped in it. Money's an excellent servant, terrible master. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll be a slave for money until you take the permanent sleep. Now, I'm not saying jobs are bad. They're a good place to start for most of us. If you truly love your job, by the way, keep it. Go ahead, keep it. But still find a way to make money outside of your job that's not going to interfere with what you're currently doing. Because I'm telling you, truth, only relying on a single source of active income, it's not smart. It's dangerous to your financial security. So for people who are smart, who've been wanting to be in the right place at the right time, or like me praying, for people who are able to recognize a good thing, who decide to take control of their finances, their freedom, for people who aren't happy with the amount of money that they have or how they have to make it, for people who have dreams and want a better life, ASEA is a significant opportunity to be paid a very significant residual income from the inevitable growth of its global expansion to afford you those dreams, give you that real freedom. Nothing better than making a living from bettering people's lives. And that's what you get to do with ASEA. Now, don't get me wrong, you can make really great money here, that's for sure. On top, you can get all sorts of lovely bonuses like all expenses paid trips to 5-star luxury locations all around the world. You'll have a great time, meeting great people, making great friends, having great experiences and a great lifestyle. But at the end of the day, it's the effect we have on others that is one of the most valuable currencies there is. And that is the heart of ASEA. Demonstrated because the truth is, after big pharmaceutical companies were shown tens of millions of dollars in 17 years worth of powerful research, clinical studies proving ASEA, those big drug companies offered to pay ASEA huge sums of money for the sole and exclusive rights to the ASEA Redox technology. But those drug companies wanted ASEA to shut down, and they wanted everyone taken off the Redox. But thankfully, the founders of ASEA, Virtus and his son, Tyler Norton, had the great foresight to see very grave concerns and consequences in that deal, because Virtus and Tyler saw not profits, they saw people. They saw people who went from very severe health challenges that once upon a time left them and their doctors even feeling hopeless, to then these people being able to experience life-changing power, game-changing power from Redox. When Virtus and Tyler saw these people and their Redox experiences, they were filled with a great sense of responsibility to get this breakthrough for you and for humanity out to the world. So they couldn't in good conscience sell out. That's why they didn't. They said no to the payout and yes to the people. Now for Virtus and Tyler, this had once just started out as a very, very big business play, but it had then become more. The ASEA founders turned down the huge sum of money from the big pharma companies, deciding to go the supplement route rather than the drug route, deciding this so that in order they could expedite the availability of this technology to you and globally, making it available immediately to everyone and without a prescription. Now, one of ASEA's biggest guiding principles was demonstrated here, as is always demonstrated in all the decisions they make, and that is to always put people and principles before ego and economics. So you're in extremely good hands. Get back with the person who shared this with you. Let them know what stood out to you the most. If you've got questions, ask them. There's plenty of places they can point to you to find the answers. Plenty of university studies if you like going cross-eyed looking at that kind of stuff. But you know what? There's plenty of real people for you to be able to see having real Redox experiences. More important than a third-party study, first-party study. If you want to be happier and healthier, if you want to live younger, stronger, longer, you may just want to become an ASEA customer then. But if you want more, you want to be, do, have, and able to give more, if you want to help people more, if you want a better life, income, lifestyle, if you want to increase the prosperity of the planet, you can become part of this Redox reality. And you can become more. And if you'll just pass this information on for many, many others, you can better the lives of many, many others. And your life will become better in many, many ways. Money, yes, but many more ways than that too. So thank you very much for spending this time with me. May you always be happy and well. And thank you ever so much, Kaleen, for looking after us here as always. Hand it back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stevie. So folks, we're about to wrap up. We're at the end of our webinar. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. And I'm going to give you a couple of visuals that just really reinforce, sorry, my screen is spinning a little bit, what Stevie has already said. As soon as my little rainbow sphere decides to stop spinning, I'll expand this. So hopefully you can at least see a little bit of it at the moment. Bull Bates from Computer Technology. I also just want to put a plug in for if you do have any more questions, here we go. Then, feel free to put them in the chat box, okay? This just quickly shows you the whole product line because we are definitely, everything we do and create in ASEA is all about cellular health. And this is a great way to just understand, obviously our focus are the products that we make that have our redox molecules in them. So you can supplement them from the inside out with the drink, from the outside in with our topical solutions. And we also just have some amazing nutrition that I'll touch on in a moment. This slide is, again, just to orient you from the viewpoint of helping you get started right. When you go back to the person that invited you, you want to make sure that you don't just ask to try a bottle or even just try it for a month, because you can see from this graph that if you're just trying it for anywhere from a week to a month, you're going to have maybe anywhere from 10 up to 50% reality on how it's changing things in your body for the better. It takes a little while sometimes to feel things when they're healing from the inside out, or correcting or stabilizing. So we've had over a decade of consumer knowledge behind us. And you can see that when someone does a 3-month trial, a much higher reality that they can really measure the changes. So give this a good 3 to 6 month trial on the drink and you won't be sorry. I definitely saw that difference at 3 months. Again, just showing you the topicals, the Renew 28 gel and the Royal Blue Serum that you saw have the molecules in them. They're phenomenal. You already saw before and after pictures, and this just gives you a peek at the skincare. We didn't talk about our nutrition because our focus is on the molecules, but we do have incredible whole food based nutrition with nothing synthetic in it. And our company's really gone the extra mile to make sure that each of these formulas has an absorption complex in them. So no matter what your gut or digestive health is, you're guaranteed to be able to really utilize the raw materials in these formulas. And that doesn't always exist in all nutrition. And so if you're interested in the nutrition, again, get your questions answered on that, okay? And again, just a quick orientation on ordering this, because some people get so excited, they jump off the webinar and they're like, okay, I'm ready to order. And maybe you have an Amazon account or you shop online quite a bit, and you might sometimes see our products on other websites. We don't actually, it's not a direct line from our company to buy products on third-party websites. So you always want to go back to the person that invited you here, because we want you to have that education component. This isn't just grab a bottle and get started. It is from the viewpoint that it's safe and non-toxic and you can do it yourself. But as we mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, there are different reasons why people want to use this product, and we can help you create a customized product plan. And you don't get that if you just randomly buy it off the internet. Plus, you know that it's safe, it's pure, you're not getting expired product. We do have a money back guarantee with our company, and we have incredible free product point programs when you open up your account that help you save more money on the product. I'm going to breeze through these because it's just fun visuals on remembering that you can just be a customer, or you can choose to do this as a business, as a way to get your product paid for. Here shows you our different accounts. We recommend that you choose a wholesale account because you save 25% off the full price of the product. And you can see with the greens highlighted box, you can just get a pure customer account, as Stevie mentioned, and we mentioned earlier, and just open it up right away and order the product that you want and get on a good product plan. You can also choose, if you do want to share it with others, to open up the associate account. And the beauty of the associate account is it does give you the same wholesale pricing as the customer account. Now you can also treat it, you can be a distributor to yourself and just enjoy all of its benefits, or you can start sharing it with others and have international distribution rights to all of the, the 33 plus countries that we offer the product in. You pay a one-time $40 US or equivalent in your country's currency fee, just to have the privilege of this account. And then once a year, there's just a $25, or again, the equivalent in your country's currency to the US dollar annual renewal, okay? And I'm gonna show you just a quick slide on, if you choose the associate account, there are incredible packages you can take advantage of only at the moment that you open your account. And it allows you to buy some product in bulk. The product itself is shelf stable for almost 2 years. And knowing you're going to do a 3 to 6 month trial, and you might have other family members on it or whatever, a lot of people like to take advantage of this. And this little graph, again, the person that invited you can go into more detail, but it's just going to give you the idea. As you know, you can just start at like what we call a personal pack, where you're ordering anywhere from 1 to 3 cases of any of the product line. You pay your enrollment fee, you get 6 little tubes of topical gel for free, which is awesome. And you're gifted some free product points, which I briefly mentioned is just a program we have that allows you to take those free product points and actually shop for free product within a couple of months of opening your account. So you can see, if you look at choice 1, choice 2, which is our business pack, or choice 3, our entrepreneur packs, the business packs are at that 4 case range. Entrepreneur packs are at 8 cases, and the free product and the benefits just increase. With the third choice, it's an incredible value because you don't pay your enrollment fee. You're gifted the equivalent of 1.5 cases of free product points, and you get 25 sample tubes of gel, which if you were to purchase those would be about $120 worth of product. So that's pretty awesome. I'm going over it very fast just to give you a general idea so you can get really focused when you get back to the person that invited you. And just reminding you that we're here to support your body's ability to maintain and reclaim health. And I'm going to end with a fantastic quote from Vertis Norton very quickly. We're all here at the start of something big with great purpose. And right now is the moment that we begin influencing the future. We can change the world. And we always end with that quote from Vertis because it just, again, it gives you a little bit of a reality of how unique and special this company is and how we really do work to make a difference in people's lives. And we want you to take this information, use it in your own life, use it in your own choices with your own energy and vitality, but also help us be ambassadors to tell people, hey guys, there's new information on how you can really leverage the way that your body repairs itself. So with that, I'm going to officially end because literally in 2 minutes at the top of the hour, if you're still with us or you've just joined us, we're starting our team training. And so if you're a guest, you're welcome to stay on. Cindy Buck is now going to take the reins as our amazing host every week. And for those of you that have joined as guests, get back to the person that invited you. And thank you for joining us tonight. Over to you, Cindy.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's great to see everybody. I hope it is a little bit cooler where you are than it is where we are. Man, it is sweltering in Colorado. So
not Florida.
Oh, I don't believe that. It's not sweltering in Florida.
No, I'm saying it's not cooler. It's definitely as hot as it is. I'm sure. Yeah, not cooler here. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
That's right. Well, I'm
just amazing extremes from, hey, it's too cold to now, hey, it's too hot. What's going on?
Well,
come to Hawaii. Beautiful one day, perfect the next. Oh, that's Queensland in Australia. I stole it from them.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm just looking down our guest list to promote a couple people to panelists. Let me just see if we've hit the top of the hour. It looks like we have. So let me get this going on Facebook and we will get started. All right, fantastic. We are live on Facebook and we are live here. So welcome everybody to another ASEA Global Expansion Team Zoom. We meet every Monday night, night in Colorado, and it may be whatever time of day, wherever you are. I know Mike Beverly is joining us tonight from Florida, so it's 9 o'clock in the evening over there, and he's probably keeping nice and cool in his air-conditioned place, just like you are, Kaleen. Unlike Danny, who's out by the beach, even though that is a faux beach behind him, that is not Danny Doyle's beach. But anyway, tonight what we're going to talk about is the promotion. We're going through a double promotion right now. For those of you who are not aware, there is a Cashville promotion as well as the double fast start. And so we're going to be talking about that. The double fast start only goes for 5 more days. It will end at midnight Eastern time this coming Friday night. And so now is your time to leverage this double promotion, which is really unprecedented in the whole ASEA world. So Danny, I know you had some thoughts about leveraging it with the Fast Forward program. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I know we're a week in, guys, or just over a week in, but our strategy was to actually, because I mean, the incentive now, the fast start, the double fast start is obviously, you know, it's ties in and based with the fast forward. I mean, what we want to do is achieve the fast forward and also obviously achieve the double fast start at the same time. So what we do, we got the whole team, our leaders, to go for the fast forward plus at the beginning of the promotion. That was not only going to give them a whole heap of cash in their pocket, but it was also going to give them a whole heap of free product. Now, we're a week in, or just over a week in now. So if you guys haven't registered anybody, if you guys haven't brought anybody on board, the strategy would be to still try and achieve the Fast Forward Plus by the end of this week. And if you land on the Fast Forward, fantastic. But what we're doing is not only getting the double fast start, not only also winning all this free product through the Fast Forward promotion, but we are leading, and all the statistics now from your enrollments and also from the auto ships that are going to go through next month are going to lead into the next promotion that's starting. And probably there's a lot of people on this call that haven't heard about that at this stage, but they go hand in hand, guys. I mean, enrollments are super important at any time, but you should be really taking advantage of, you know, the double fast start is something the company doesn't bring in on a regular basis. It's very, very rare. And for it to be global, for you to be able to register anybody in any market is just phenomenal. It's just super, super generous. So really make sure that you take advantage of this promotion this week. Concentrate on that, but also tie it in with the fast forward and try and achieve and win that incentive too, which, as you know, it's an institutionalized incentive that's around forever. But the fast start, the double fast start's only until the end of this week. So take advantage of that and tie them in. But yeah, go out there and achieve the fast forward plus or the fast forward, guys, because that's going to really help not only with the double fast start, but also leading into the next promotion, which is going to run for 3 months. And you're going to be able to put a lot more cash in your pocket over the next 3 months as well.
Yeah, so Danny, I reached out to Mike Beverly because if you look at the Cashville promotion, you'll see Mike at the first couple pages. So Mike's just screaming in this promotion, and I called him to see what he's doing, and he said, well, you tell him what you told me, Mike, that, you just enjoy the process and you're just talking to lots of people, right? And you're muted, so let's unmute you and then we can hear what you have to say.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can. There he is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, even before the Cashville was announced, I just, and here's what did it. I had a really fantastic 2-hour experience with Mal Sword when he was here at Disney World with his kids, and he taught me a lot and refreshed my memory about dreams. And so I started dreaming. The very next weekend, I went and drove my dream car, which a lot of people may think is crazy, but is a Mini Cooper Countryman loaded to the hilt. But then my wife got to go drive her sports coupe Mercedes 500 SEL. So that was the first weekend of dreaming after I spent the Saturday before that with Mal. The next weekend we went and looked at $1 million to $1.5 million homes on the beach and condos. So this was back in February. So I got burned up and excited and started listening to Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire and started getting some realistic visions about what my future could be like. So I made a decision that I was going to reach out to 60 people per day, either through text message, through Facebook, through whatever way I could, to just invite them to have a conversation with me. And I was fortunate at the same time to get on a Simon Chan training where he basically teaches people just to send out 60 messages a day with this message: may I ask you a question? And then when they respond, I go to Alan Noble's response or his question. There's been a huge breakthrough in the world of health and wellness. Everyone deserves to hear about this. What you do with it's up to you. But if I shared a 15-minute video with you about this amazing technology, would you watch it? ? And every day I'm getting 5 to 15 people to respond to the, when I ask them the question, to respond, yeah, I can ask them that second question. And out of the 14 or 15 that are responding, I'm getting 3 to 8 people to watch the video. And so that's allowing me to enroll 2 to 3 people per week. And I was telling Cindy when she called me earlier, I didn't even know the perks of the Cashville program. I just went on today and found out I got 4 free nights at the hotel. I mean, come on. How much does it cost to stay at one of those places? What's the name of the hotel? It's not a cheap place. It's a nice hotel. So, I mean, if I'd have known that I was going to get that, I would have probably worked even harder. But I'm just a couple of people away from moving from the $500 cash I've already earned to $1,000. And then I've got it figured out that if I can sponsor, I think 8 or 9 more before the end of July, then I'll be into a couple $1,000 plus the 4 free nights. So it's, I wish I'd have known that there were that many perks. I would have probably worked a lot harder the last 3 months. So.
Absolutely. And on top of that, Mike, you're getting the double fast start.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I've got.
with every enrollment pack that your people are buying, instead of getting what you normally earn, you're getting double that. So your paycheck is going to be fat and happy come Friday.
Well, it is, and I didn't know, Danny, that this was international. So I'm getting ready to enroll my first person in the Philippines tomorrow, or maybe we'll do it tonight because it's already tomorrow there. So I didn't know that it was global. I just thought it was U.S. So I'm learning a lot by being on this call tonight.
Yeah, one action can lead to many things. I mean, you're just out there reaching out to people, enrolling people, but it's targeting the fast forward, it's targeting the cash fill, it's targeting the double, fast start. I mean, so many things. Tell me, how long have you been in the business, Mike?
I actually got on the product last April, and then about 3 months later, June, July, I started enrolling people and talking to people. And I didn't set, well, I guess I did. I ended up being the number 5 enroller in North America last year. But I didn't really start till about July last year. So not quite a year. I've been doing the business. I've been on the product a little longer, but about a year.
And how long have you been reaching out to the 60 people a day or whatever you're doing? How long have you been taking that action?
At least 3 months now. One of the things that I learned in that Mach 2 Audible that Mal had recommended is that you got to fall in love with the process. And I was telling Ed Weens the other day, I just love, I got a process that I go by in the first couple hours every day. I send out my 60 invites, either text or through Facebook, and then just wait for the people to respond. And then I'm sending out videos on Genie Go so that I can see if they actually watched it or not. And it's interesting, the people that say, oh, I'm not interested. And I go on there and see they watched 3% of the video. So it's like, and I mean, I was telling Cindy, I had 17 no's today, 17. And when I get to about 14, this is my response. Thank you for the no. The next no that I get, I'm going to make a lot of money. So thank you. You're one of the no's I needed today. So I make it kind of fun. And I think people think I'm weird or something, but that's kind of the attitude I have. I don't care.
You can keep that posture, obviously, with what you're doing and what you're achieving. So tell us, leading up to taking that massive action, where were you in your business? What rank, and how much has your business grown since you've been doing that?
Well, I hit silver last September, maybe October, and then I got out of the action. I was being consistent, but not that active last fall, and my business fell off. And I was telling Mal that I was being D700, bronze, consistently. But then now that I've done the massive action, things are really flying, and I'm getting some duplication too. I've taught some other people to do this and getting some duplication with it. So, but I was telling Cindy, I have such a vision now, and it's the audibles. I'm telling you, Mal said, you got to spend 30 minutes a day in Audible or more, 30 minutes to an hour in the Audible. And I do. I mean, there's some days I do 2 hours in Audibles, and I love to take the book and read along with the Audible. So it's really kind of a dual thing. But I've got such vision now for where we're going to be, not only everybody on this call, but the company, me personally, a year from now, it's going to be outrageous where we're going to be. I believe that.
Absolutely. Mike, I mean, go for it, Cindy, because I could keep going, because I want to get into Mike's head. So you go for it.
I was just going to say that, I mean, if I had known Mike for a while, I've known Mike for a little while, and I'm Mike, I can't get over how much younger you look now than you do when I first met you. I mean, if I was your friend who'd been walking around Florida with you, I'd be like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah,
and I want whatever he's doing, because look at this guy.
Well, I ran into a friend of mine I hadn't seen in about 10 years. I guess it was January. And he says, Mike, I've never seen you look so good. And I said, I went over to St. Augustine and jumped in the Fountain of Youth. You need to come and try it. You know, so I was just joking with him, but you know, he's still not on the product. So, hey, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, you know, so.
Yeah, we say you can lead someone to a seer, but you can't make them drink.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I was telling Cindy a story earlier when we were talking that I bought my brother and sister-in-law who live in Salt Lake City, 10 miles from ASEA, 2 cases last year as I was going. I just, you know, loved them, wanted them to get on it. And my wife and I went out there in March for a week to visit some of the national parks, and we got to tour ASEA and the plant and all that while we were there. And in their pantry, they had 7 bottles of the 8 bottles I bought them last September in their pantry. And my sister-in-law was complaining about migraine headaches. She's having migraine headaches every day. And I said, Nina, come over here. So we went to ASEA Healthy Self. I showed her some testimonies about migraines. So she started using the product. And 2 weeks ago, she ran out. So my wife and I went down to see David Silverman Thursday night. And as we were leaving that meeting, she calls me from Salt Lake and she says, Mike, can you get me back on my auto ship, or get me on auto ship, because I'm having headaches again. I've been out of my product for 2.5 weeks and I'm beginning to have migraines every day again. So now she's back on auto ship. But sometimes people just have to suffer a little bit to appreciate what they actually have. So it's interesting, but Cindy and I are going to have a little survey to find out how many bottles are in people's pantries or closets across the world that are that are sitting there not being used.
That's right. And the thing is that there is more and more awareness happening out there. I mean, we're in the middle of a sampling campaign right now because we're not in the convincing business. It's exhausting to be in the convincing business. And so once people have an experience, they know it's real. And so, I mean, follow-up is probably more important in this business than a lot of businesses, because look, if you're buying eyelashes, you know, you buy eyelashes, you put them on, and they either make you look better or they don't. You know, if you're doing some other product, you know, you take it and you either lose weight or you don't. You know what I mean? It's measurable that way. But this technology is a little slippery because it's the most massive discovery that has ever been on the planet at this time. We're breaking new ground. And so, you know, we have to handhold people because it takes a while. And I don't know how your experience was in the beginning for our heads, our brains to get into this technology, because we want to shove this technology into a bucket that already exists. And there is no bucket for this technology. This is a brand new bucket. So people try to put it in the weight loss bucket. They try to put it in the athletic performance bucket. They try to put it in the anti-aging bucket. They try to put it in the health and wellness bucket, the, you know, antioxidant bucket. This is none of that. And so, you know, this is so special and so different. And I mean, I was telling Mike today that we ran into a woman with the Telluride Film, our Bluegrass Festival that we just attended, who has had those bottles in her pantry for something like 11 years now. She got them from an athlete that was one of the athletes that was originally promoting ASEA, Rich Roll, who's a really good friend of hers, and who was on the front of, you know, Men's Health as the one of the again, got on ASEA, started working out like a freight train, and anyway, evidently he loved the product himself, but he never educated her about why it tasted like chlorine. And so she, being an Ayurvedic practitioner, was worried about the chlorine and just kind of left it in the closet and forgot about it until we ran into her in Telluride and said, okay, now let's just give you a little education here. So she's, oh my gosh, well, does it go bad? I'm going home and drinking that stuff immediately. So there are things that bring companies into momentum, and this company has so many things in place that when this thing pops, it's going to pop so huge So yeah, Mike, you're planting 60 seeds a day. I mean, I just talked to Jackie Wetzler, who's done something like 4, and maybe I can ask Bo for specifics, 4 something like back-to-back fast forwards, and she's in the middle of a fast forward plus. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm just talking to lots of people. So she's doing the same thing you are, Mike. She's just out there turning over stones and seeing who's coachable, hungry, and willing to do what it takes. So good for you, good for you. And I think you're absolutely right. When this thing pops, it's going to pop huge. And the fact that the whole world will want this at some point, and we're the only ones that have it, is something that, I mean, it's hard to metabolize for most people. So.
Well, and I am so grateful to Ed and Rebecca and to Chris and Wendy Caldwell for sending me the product when I was really in bad health shape last year. I was so anemic, I couldn't function, was sleeping around the clock. And for those of you who've looked at my latest post on the Help Yourself, a year ago, my cholesterol was 237. Now it's 120. I've got the best blood work I've had in probably 15, 20 years. My doctor just took me off of 2 medications last Tuesday. And I feel better than I felt in decades. I really do. But I thank God for this technology. And I know Danny's got an amazing story as well for how his health turned around. But it's a lifesaver for me, so I'm passionate about it, obviously.
You're looking good. You're looking good, Mike. I mean, you can tell you're glowing, and we can normally tell the people that are on the product and the people that aren't on the product. Thing I love about what we have is, we can become an associate, and from the very first day, we can build a global business. 2 incentives there at the moment where we can utilize those incentives globally, obviously not Cashville, that's specific to the US. But with what you're doing, reaching out to 60 people every single day, anybody that is at any stage of their business, even coming on board from day one, can do the exact same thing that you're doing. It's the people that consistently do it are the people that are going to grow their business the quickest. And that's where the mindset comes in. That's where the growth comes in. That's where Mal's talking about the audibles, to keep you on track, to keep that action, that daily action going all day, every day.
Right. He told me, he said, not everybody will do the audibles, but the ones that will stay in the game, and they will have the right mindset to move forward. And so I've consistently 7 days a week been on 30 minutes to 2 hours of Audible.
Hey, Mike, some people are asking, which audibles are you listening to? Which audibles are you listening to?
Well, the best one that I've ever listened to, and I've done network marketing since I was a sophomore in college, the best one I've ever listened to is Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. The best one. And I understand that's the #1 audible that Mal recommends for everybody first day they're in the business. Correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, but that's what he told me.
We were lucky enough. I think you guys were there too in Lanai, the diamond trip. We went to Richard's place, and he literally gave us the books and signed them to us at his own house. It was amazing.
Right. Yeah, and his 4-year career is really good. I mean, I've been going through Think and Grow Rich. I think I'm now on my 3rd reading of Think and Grow Rich, and I've got that. There's not an Audible, but you can get the downloads from Nightingale Conant on Think and Grow Rich. Beach Money is another good one. Born to Be Rich, I think is that by Bob Proctor? I'm not sure. That's another good one, but absolutely my favorite I've ever listened to is Mach 2 with Your Hair on Fire. I was at the gym today for an hour working out, and I started it over again. This is probably the 7th or 8th time that I will have listened to that book on Audible since February. So it's amazing.
There's only one thing you can do is change the color of your hair. I'll do everything else for you, but it's a matter of getting to it.
Exactly.
I don't know, Danny. We have a woman in Hawaii that she had this glorious gray hair, and she started drinking Sia, and her hair started growing in black. And So
Yeah,
people would take a double, they would go, wait a
I better
minute.
start drinking some more. I better start drinking some more.
We had a guy in Australia. He was from China somewhere anyway. Totally great. I mean, his hair suited him. Totally silver fox. Anyway, he started rubbing the gel into his hair and drinking the ASEA. And 1 month later, I caught up with him, and it was salt and pepper. It didn't suit him. It just looked strange. It's just amazing how the black was coming back.
Well, and look at
Yeah.
Dr. Dick Walker. I mean, Dr. Dick Walker is a different person. I mean, when he joined ASEA, he didn't have hair up here. And I mean, and now he has hair there and it's brown. It's, I mean, unbelievable. His difference, if you look at him when he joined ASEA, when he started, before he took ASEA, and now what he looks like now, even though he's, I don't know, 8 years older or something like that, he looks completely different. He looks like you, Mike. He's just getting younger and younger, even though chronologically he's getting older in the birthday book,
His passion for this product is just amazing. I love to hear him. He was on about a month ago and gave a really good expose about anyone over 50 needs to double up. Instead of 4 ounces a day, you need to do 8. And I've been on 8 for a year, but after listening to David last Thursday night, I'm going to 12 now every day.
Come on, Mike. Great. I'm on 16. I've been on 16 for 6 years now.
Okay, I'm with you.
Let's do it. We got 3 incredible platinums on this call too, Stevie and Kaleen. Any input as far as the double fast start? Anything you guys want to add to this conversation? More than welcome.
Well, what I would add, Mike, I love what you're saying because, it's also important to do things that are duplicatable. And we've actually ironically been doing the same thing with our team last week we had him drill the Alan Noble pattern that he's teaching. If you log on to his Discover ASEA webinar that happens in 30 minutes, and just drilled that and said, okay, guys, now go out there and use that. And the beauty of that pattern of would you watch the 7-minute video, for those of you that don't know, the 7-minute video is the overview video that's on realredoxresults.com. So if you go into that web page and you click on the overview video, which is the first video, you can get the link on your cell phone or on your computer, and you send it to the person with the password. And the password is Redox, R-E-D-O-X, lowercase. And then the person watches that 7-minute overview, and then they're literally in a gold mine of testimonies on the page, and the end of the video orients them to now go look at the testimonies. And you have over 100 testimonies, and they're already right there on the website. So it's getting people to be exposed more and believe more that it might help them quicker is what we're finding, because they watch that video and then they automatically get curious. Oh, wow, look, here's something about joint discomfort or, whatever. So it is a really cool, duplicatable, way to get people exposed faster, with the idea that, most people aren't going to buy the first time they hear about it. They need a few times to be exposed and to think about it and learn about it and stuff like that.
As I listen to this, it makes me think of Chuck Funky spoke with us at a national convention, the last national convention I think we were on, and he talked about a certain theory or theorem about when people are being watched, they work and perform better. Okay, but here's the deal. What I'm hearing from Mike is, well, here's the results from Mike. Action's the answer to being scared. It's the answer to being stagnant. It's the answer to being broke. Action begets action. And when you know the score, you're able to, assess your resources and move forward in a better light. But the bottom line is when you're confident, as you hear Mike, his posture, his confidence, and more convicted, then you don't have to do what Tyler was talking about in next level marketing, which is start convincing people. Mike's not there begging people to listen to, to watch a video or something. He's saying, hey, there's been a change in the health and wellness business, a big technology. If I sent you a 15-minute video, would you watch it? Someone says no, guess what? Here's the other deal. It's coming over Facebook. You guys aren't sitting there getting smashed in your face or anything to that effect. So what Sydney and I learned today from a training we were on from Eric Worre is it relates to Mike, because Mike is actually watching himself. He's being self-responsible, right? And what that's called, guys, is character. And when you do the things when nobody's looking, what's going to happen is you're going to succeed through the business. And what Mike's doing is fantastic, because like Danny was saying earlier, anybody can do this. I don't care how much confidence you have. I don't care. The question is, will you? What's your character and what's your wish and dream in ASEA and for yourself and for your life and for the future of this whole project? I just wanted to share that because I think all of them together, they all meld together so well.
Yeah,
And,
no, sorry, Mike. I just want to repeat that because you hit the nail on the head. Probably the best bit of advice that anybody could ever give with what you just said. It's what we do, what anybody does when people aren't watching, when people aren't looking. That is what's going to take your business to another level. I mean, we can be out here, we can be on these Zooms and yeah, great, fantastic, yeah, do this, that, and the other. But it's what I do when I'm turning this off. It's what Mike's doing when he actually jumps off this call. That would be honestly, the best advice that anybody could ever have. It's what you do in the background when people aren't looking.
Absolutely. The other point that was brought up today is that if you really want to assess character, some people think that character is really ascertained in the face of adversity. And what she was saying, she said, I beg to differ. You give somebody some power and you'll start to see their character. So what happens to some people in some companies, network marketing as well as traditional companies, is they get a little bit of power, they get a rank, they get a big paycheck, they start to really understand geometric progression, reproductive residual income, the power of compounding, the power of leverage, and they start getting paid, numbers that they've never been paid before, paychecks on a regular basis that they feel like, whoa, holy smokes, what the heck's going on? And, instead of becoming more humble, more of a servant, more, I got to help my team succeed, that kind of attitude, they become the ego-centered person as opposed to the, look at this is for real. The more people we help succeed, the more successful we're going to be. So anyway, you give somebody a little bit of power, you really start to see their character.
Yeah, great point. And for me, I'm always sort of keeping in that survival mode, getting up in the morning like I still need to put food on the table and pay bills. And if I keep that mindset, I know that I've got to get up early and not waste any time and help as many people as possible. Keeping that income generating activity, the more that we can produce financially, and it's not all about the money, but we're getting product into people's hands. So just remain hungry, no matter what level you are, how comfortable you are, how much money you're making, stay hungry.
Absolutely. I was looking at a thing on Facebook today, and the question was, if you didn't get paid for what you're doing, would you keep doing it? And honestly, my answer is no, because I do have to put food on the table. I do have to pay, mortgages, and I do want to travel the world. I got a big, vision board and a big list of things to do. And if I couldn't make money doing ASEA, I think it's a great company, but I couldn't afford to do it, So I think this double fast start promotion is so generous for the company, and what incredible timing to do it as we're going into the summer months. And listen, maybe the heat is a blessing. If it's 100 degrees where you live, go inside and make some phone calls. Get on the computer for a little while. I was listening to Jordan Adler the other day, and he said, one of my latest pet peeve is people ask me, are you doing network marketing full-time or part-time? And he said, well, that's a ridiculous question, because if you're really doing network marketing full-time, what are you spending? 2 hours a day? I mean, really? Come on, let's be real. So, it's an incredible industry once people understand it. This is an incredible company in an incredible industry. And as Mal Sword says, this is so massive, we'll never see this again in our lifetime. It's that massive, but it's so big and so different. And that difference is sustainable, and that sustainable difference gives us a huge advantage in the marketplace that most people can't absorb, the massive opportunity that's right in front of them, right in front of their fingertips. And if they did, there wouldn't be bottles of ASEA in people's pantry, period. So
many stories like that, so many stories.
Right?
But once they find out what it is, they kick themselves that they've kept it in the cupboard for so many years.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, we're at the end of the half hour. Let's just go around and just see if you guys have any last words, final words. We've got 5 more days of this promotion. Stevie, I don't know if you want to unmute yourself, but do you have any last words of advice for people in the last 5 days of this promotion?
I've got way too much ADD and too little time to be able to fit anything I've got to say into this. I'm just sitting here in awe of everything that you've been saying, and really been enjoying what you've been saying, Mike, and inspired by what you've been describing that you've been doing. You know, so many secret sources you poured into this mix today, and I really appreciate you. One of the sayings that I've adopted is, you know, because, you know, Mal Sword's a great mentor of mine too. And one of the sayings I've adopted is, you know, an idle mind is the devil's workshop, and white space on your calendar is his playground. And you've got that covered between the audibles. That is a big thing, you know, because if I don't have something better to think about, what am I thinking about? And audibles take care of that. That's my armor. You know, that's my bulletproof to any negativity that's coming in here from out here. And then, you know, activity absorbs anxiety, right? And, you know, if everyone on this Zoom has picked up one thing from listening to all of these leaders, and right to the top when Tyler Norton talks, the common thread you're going to see is high integrity and high activity. Big secret. So yeah, thank you everyone for all of the valuable input that you've given me today.
Absolutely. We've always heard that if you're in your head, you're behind enemy lines. So, you know, you got to align those 6 inches between your ears, and the audibles certainly help. So, Kaleen, what is your parting advice for the last 5 days of this promotion?
Holy cow, just to keep it simple, I want to say ditto. But yeah, obviously, I mean, it's all about outflow, and it's all about focus. And I think when you work from home, sometimes that can be the challenge of staying focused on the income producing activity. And so I remember Eric Worre saying you can sort of trick your mind by just really breaking it down into short segments. It might even be for 30 minutes, I'm going to do this. Check it off. Okay, for the next 30 minutes, I'm going to do this. So if your mind's really working against you, that's what I do. I break it down into smaller segments where I feel like I can focus and have a win. So
there you go. You make it psychoduological, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Bo, what are your parting words of wisdom?
I don't know. I keep going back to these fantastic trainings we've been getting, and listening to Mike, I want to give you kudos in the sense that, you know, one of the statements we heard today is that a leader is one who knows the way, models the way, and shows the way. And following the system is wonderful, but showing others how to follow the system is going to equal your success. And you mentioned today how that's duplicating some in your business. And I think we need to all know that when people come on board, they do not know what this is, right? This is not the environment they're used to when they're an employee for someone else. And if we don't show them what to do or give them at least some assignments to go through a process so that they can succeed, guess what? They're not going to succeed. They're not going to be around for long. So remember that a leader is one who knows the way, models the way, and shows the way.
Excellent. Mike, what are your parting words of wisdom?
Well, the other audible and book I'd recommend is by the guy we've been talking about, Eric Worre, Go Pro. And the first fast forward I did during this 3-month run, I went to the gym and I hadn't listened to this audible. So I turned it on. It just happened to be on chapter 7 about follow up and getting your new associates started. And so I had these 6 or 7 new people, you know, that were there. And so I basically transcribed everything he said, and I have it on a follow-up sheet. I can't put my fingers on it right now, but then I call them up and I say, okay, based on what you know so far, and I ask those questions, how to get started and how many hours and what their goal is. What would you need to make on a part-time basis to make this worth your time? And so out of those 7 people that were, you know, associates, I had another preferred customer. I've gotten 5 of them engaged, and right here, it came because I was at the gym and I hadn't listened to that in a while. And it just, I know it was a God thing to say, okay, you need to listen to chapter 7, but that's where it was queued up in the Audible. And I'm doing my weights and going through my exercises, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is what I've missed on all those other people that I sponsored last year. I didn't get them started properly and didn't get, you know, what their goals and what their dreams were to help them get started. So again, another Audible, another book, you know, that's where all the information's there. We just have to access it.
Absolutely. I'm listening to a book on tape right now called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And he's, you know, he's talking about the best companies out there. He's comparing foxes to hedgehogs. And the difference between hedgehogs and foxes is hedgehogs make a complicated concept really simple. And foxes still, you know, try to, you know, figure out how to, you know, do it fancy. But the hedgehog simplifies the deal. And he said, if you take that into the corporate world, you can take it into the network marketing world, people who have that gift that can take a complicated scenario like a SIA and simplify it are the ones that soar. So excellent. Thanks so much, Mike. Danny, what are your parting words?
Congratulations to Mike, setting an incredible example for all of us and for your team. Keep up the great work. You're going to be at the top of this company in no time, mate. My strategy, I'm going to put as many people in this week as possible, but moving beyond this week when the double fast start finishes, I'm going to be subsidizing the double fast start with continuing to put more people in because other commissions will come into play. So I'm not going to stop bringing people into the business, keeping in mind too, this month, all the auto ships going into next month. And I like pulling every single cent out of this compensation plan and incentive, guys, and that's how you should be looking at it too. There's a lot of great cash on offer the next 3 months from the next incentive that's coming into play. So based on enrollments, based on auto ships next month and for the next 3 months, just enroll as many people as possible all of the time for the next month, this month, and the next 3 months. Very, very important to really maximize the new incentive that's coming in.
Absolutely. And, you know, Mike Beverly is a plugged in associate. He's a leader in ASEA. And as you heard tonight, Mike was a little bit, you know, gray on, hey, I didn't know it was a global promotion. And man, I didn't even know this was happening. And I didn't realize I was going to get double my money. And so communication with your team is key, because just because you're plugged in does not mean that they're plugged in. So make sure your team knows what's going on and knows that they can also leverage this promotion that's going on until Friday, as well as the Cashville promotion that will be ongoing until September. So anyway, it's great to be with you guys tonight. Have an incredible evening, the rest of your day, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. Stay cool out there, and we'll talk to you next Monday. Bye, everybody.